Okay, so we're going to talk about two very simple lights today. One of them is going to be a pin light, and one of them is a photometric light. In order for these to show up well and to get the full effect of these, what I'm going to do is turn off some of these other systems here, just to shine a light on these new ones that we're going to show here. So I'm going to take this, hide some of these things. I'm going to hide my emitters and this one, this guy here. Hide that guy. All right. Oh, I've got a mesh light still showing. Let me hide that. Let's see. That guy hiding. Okay. So, kind of see. I still have my atmosphere on, which is okay. It kind of really helps to highlight the effects of these particular lights. So let's get into a point light. I guess I should call it a point light. A point light is one of the legacy lights in Maya. And so you can find those by going to Create Lights, and you'll see Point Light right here. When I create a point light, it creates basically just a little tiny little orb. And it's pretty simple. The effects that you get from it, you can animate any of these lights. But this is great, for stars and effects, or just to throw just a tiny bit of a hint of light, like in a corner somewhere, or someplace where it's you need a little bit of an accent light. These are perfect because you can add color to them. You can intensify them however you need to. They work great in a volume atmosphere. You can see here. So it's just a good, simple, all-around light. It's pretty easy to use. If you find certain areas of your scene are a little dark, then this is a great way to just add a little bit of an accent to it, kind of highlight the edges of certain things like that. And it's great. It's a nice little effect that you can throw out there. So that's that. That's pretty simple, right? You can add that however you need to. The other light that I have here, it's kind of crazy looking. This is called a photometric light. This is not a legacy light. This is one of Arnold's lights. So it's a plugin. So if you ever find yourself working with Maya, Arnold is a great renderer and has a lot of great options for very realistic types of lights. A photometric light like this looks kind of crazy, right? Look at that thing. It points down. That's the direction of the light, like many of the other lights that we have here. And the way that this works, let me hide this one back here so it doesn't get in the way. Nothing is there. Nothing is on that light. So you can see it, nothing renders here. That's because we have to assign it something. We have to give it a purpose. And so once I select that light and I click over here on the photometric file, the way that this works, these are illuminating, engineering, servicing lights. Okay, so IES, that's the file that they use. So I'm going to find this, and we have access to these files which I've shared. And what I'm going to do is get into my lighting. I have IES lights, a whole folder full of these lights. Now nothing shows up here. It's just not that kind of file. But there's a great way to view all of these things in the file that is actually shared with you. They don't all show up here, but in this file, inside the file, I have the images that kind of show you what that light looks like. So for soft display, this is the actual file, usable file that I would use. This is the effect that it would give. And so these are all very, very realistic lights, all engineered to look like very specific types of fixtures or bulbs. And so these are awesome. So I'm going to take one of these. I like this X arrow one. That's pretty dramatic looking. And I'm going to find that in my photometric file here. So that is called X arrow, which is down here. It's just the regular X arrow. So it's the very last one. I'm going to click to load that up. So now it shows up right here. It's very dim. And so I'm going to crank that up and get the full effect of this. Now it shows up as basically out in the middle of space. So it looks like that all the way around. But they really look great when they're up next to a surface. So if I back this up here, you can see the effects that it has, how it reflects, and those beams really shine on the surface that it's next to. And so how you apply this has a lot to do with what is around it, what's in the surroundings of these lights. And so that's a cool feature. These point lights are kind of being annoying, so I'm going to hide those. Boom, boom, and there's one more. Boom. Oh no, I didn't hide it. Where'd it go? Here it is. There. So now I'm going to focus on just this light right here. So this little guy, very cool. And so you can get different lights. If I want to create a clone of that, I can have like a whole like fixture, already set up, already gives me these great effects. If I decide, hey, I don't like that light, I want to try a different one, I can choose my other file, see which other one is here. Trapezoid looks pretty cool, so I'm going to find trapezoid here, hit trapezoid, boom, that's very intense light. So I can change that, it's already at 10, bring that back down. And so that's pretty nice. Very realistic style of light. You can color these lights, you can change the intensity of these lights, exposure, and so on. When it comes to using color temperature, that's another thing. A lot of times these lights are used for take the place of where actual light bulbs would be. And so color temperature is basically how light bulbs work. The higher the number, the cooler that light is going to look. The lower the number, the warmer that light is going to be. And so typical lighting effect for a classroom is typically around the 4000s. Now, this is also kind of exaggerated because of the atmosphere that's here as well. And so this is great. Great light effects that you can get from these. These require very specially modified images that are used for these lights. So photometric lights and point lights, great sources that you can use in your project. And that's pretty much it for our little lighting playground.